listening to Kane, Randy, and Brooke on Scratch the Vinyl.
Scratch the Vinyl.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to Scratch the Vinyl. You made it back for another week, and we are pumped that you did. We're glad you're back. We knew you'd come back. We're like the smelly cat that you feed, and and we just keep coming back to you. You guys got to love us. So, I got to admit, things have been going fantastic on the show. We've gotten a lot of great responses from everybody from the benefit that we did. I know that I talked to Kathy about possibly doing another benefit in November. So let's start getting worked up on that. We'll talk about it as it comes up. But I just want to thank everybody who supported us and has been on this journey with us, has been showing out to these shows. Let's continue to kick butt. So let's bring my other hosts on right now. First off, she's the Big Red Machine. She is the witchy lady that stole our hearts, and the former star strutter herself, Brooke Johnson. Brooke, how are you?
Okay. Listen, Kane, or should I call you Candy? Come on now. You really had to say that. You know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. I just did a dance with my sister to Sweet Dreams because it was bringing back memories. Thank you for that, Candy.
You got to own that stuff. You know what I mean? Like you're a dancer. You need to be free to do, we're not talking exotic dancing here. We're talking about the star strutters, dang it.
That's right. I mean, we were pretty badass. I'm not going to lie. It was nice, except for my hips, knees, fingers, neck, back, my neck and my back. Everything hurts. So you kids out there that are dancers, I don't care if you're exotic, just be safe.
Now let's bring on a dancer of another type. He is the god of thunder, the Godzilla of entertainment in this town and so many other towns. We can't even mention it. We're talking about the chill man himself, Randy Wilson. Randy, welcome back to the show.
Well, hello, guys. Brooke, I went to Northeast. I know what a star strutter is. Listen.
You probably dated a few of them.
I dated none of them. They had nothing to do with me. I was not that cool back then.
Whatever. Shut your mouth. I would have dated you.
Well, yeah, because you're like 10 years younger.
But I would have made you do when they had the guys go up and do the star stutters. Oh, yep.
Oh, yeah, I loved it. You guys used to have those cute little skirts and you were so much better than everybody else at school.
No,
I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter.
Totally wrong. I was a complete nerd. I loved going to math class and going to acting, and pretended, with
I think it was worse. I couldn't even date one of the basic cheerleaders. Like they wanted to be like you guys. I mean, come on.
No, but you know what though? When you're called Star Slutter, it's so awesome. Thanks, everybody. Assholes.
I didn't go there, by the way. I didn't say it. I just maybe alluded a little bit. Yeah. Anyways.
Shout out to them. They're amazing.
Well, I tell you what, I've had a really great week with with the live entertainment. Of course, we had Black Hole Suns at Matson's Friday night. And that was a blast. And it's good to see those guys again. And we keep expanding, get some live entertainment down there at Matson's on Friday night. I did put in a new system over there for Thursday nights. We had a huge karaoke show and got to test that out. Kind of a little shout out to Brett Bellamy helping me out with that. Kind of another former long-timer karaoke guy in the business. I think even Kane, you've probably worked with Brett a little bit too, haven't you?
Yeah, man. I got my start in karaoke going to You Are the Star karaoke with him. I met, I think, a couple of wives at You Are the Star karaoke and many others who wish that they never met me at all.
Yeah, well, big shout out to Brett for helping me out. And we got things going and we're getting ready for some big things down there for On the Lanes karaoke and keeping the live band things going. And guess what? We've got one of those bands that have performed there not too long ago. You want to do the intros, Mr. Kane Stevens?
Well, that was an excellent segue, Randy. I mean, we are truly moving on into the professional realm. We're ready for radio. We're waiting for Sirius XM to call us at any point and just tell us we want Scratch the Vinyl. That was excellent. So let's get into it. Yes, we are excited about these guests. Yes, I said guests plural because we have two of them on right now from the band Pop Shove It. We have Donny and Ian. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Good. How you guys doing?
So, man, you guys played at Rockin' Bowl. How was it? I mean, I always wanted to play a show at a bowling alley, and I had some signed up to play. It never worked out. How'd you guys feel about that show?
I mean, I think speaking for all of us, I mean, we enjoyed it. That was our second time back at Madsen's. I think the problem we find ourselves in is that we get too distracted and engrossed watching people bowl.
Yeah, that was most of the last set. Was there was one lane bowling right next to us, and Donnie's playing leads, and all of a sudden you see him look over and cheering for strikes. So
waiting for them to hit that 7-10 split, see if they nailed it. You know, yeah, man, I could see that being pretty distracting. Then you got pool like an eye's distance down the way too. So it's a pretty cool place. I love that they're doing it, and they're really killing it with bands. And I'm glad that you guys connected with us and we brought you guys on. But let's talk about that music right now. So you guys are doing pop punk, which you gotta love pop punk. I mean, there's a special place in my heart for it. I've watched some of your videos and things out there. I think you guys are doing like if I'm correct here, you guys are doing Yellow Card and Blink 182 and all these great staples. But what kind of got you guys? I'll ask Ian first. Ian, what got you started in pop punk? Like, were you always in punk bands?
So growing up, me and our singer Craig went to high school together, and we just kind of realized we listened to a lot of the same music, most of it being like that pop punk and like emo stuff. We had a band in high school that really never played any shows. It was just a group of guys practicing together, but we kind of, grew as musicians doing that, and then kept in touch through college. We went to Wayne State, both of us. So we ended up joining the band Odd Man Out with a few other friends from college up there. We're still somewhat active, and Derek and Jordan play in that band as well. And then, after that, I had moved to Omaha just probably 4 years ago, and then we just decided to kind of start the project where we're doing covers of like all those songs we grew up listening to. So they all, joining with those other guys and doing that's just been such a great time.
I read in you guys in the bio that I got from you guys. You mentioned like video games, and I gotta admit, like some of those soundtracks were absolutely fire, man. Some of those sound like, of course, the Tony Hawk Pro Skater one, always unbelievable. But like even like Madden and like all of the sports games back in the days had these killer soundtracks. And so I mean, so who's the video game fan here? That's really, is it all you guys? Is it just one of you?
I think it's pretty much all of us. I know me and Donnie early on bonded over. We were both really into Tony Hawk 3. So that's where a lot of like our few first songs came from when we were first learning our covers. And then me and Craig were both just huge into Guitar Hero and Rock Band. So just kind of a melding of all those things.
Man, those are some of my fondest memories in high school. And, me and my friends maybe sipping a little bit of something, maybe smoking a little bit of grass, and just like, but we would make our own soundtracks. We would pop the, CD tracks and we would just let it kind of rotate like a 10 disc changer. And we would have our list of, we'd play Head PE, we'd play all this like super aggressive stuff while we're, trying to hit as many tricks as possible. So I don't know, you really struck a nerve with me. And I imagine that going to your shows is exactly like that. Like I can't wait to actually see you guys in person, because I know that I would be in absolute heaven hearing some of these live again.
Well, they were definitely playing all my favorite songs of the 90s. I got to catch most of the show, and yes, Kane, you would love almost every song they did. And it is kind of our favorite time period, really. And so, yeah, you guys did a great job. How about you, Donnie? Where does your kind of music background come from?
Not pop punk at all. Actually, Yeah, I don't know. I kind of grew up more on the classic rock side of things. Aerosmith, Van Halen, those kind of guys. Kind of started opening up into like the grunge in the 90s, and so I've gotten a new respect for like the pop punk stuff definitely since being in this project. There's a lot of cool stuff out there that I had never heard of before, and we've learned some killer songs. Like, never once listened to like My Chemical Romance, but here we are playing a song or two by them, and I'm having a great time doing it.
Do you have a cowbell by any chance? Do you get more cowbell? Like I've never done that. I've always wanted to do that.
They don't trust me with the cowbell. Something about guitar players can't count. I don't know.
I was just thinking of the Foo Fighters. That's why I wore them today. You guys play some of them, yeah?
Ew.
Yeah, I love them. Well, you guys, 90s is some of my favorite music of all times. And I know that you guys play a lot of that kind of music. But besides that, I know you guys travel around a little bit in Nebraska. And Omaha is where you guys are really based out of, correct? Out of Nebraska, though, what town is your favorite to perform at?
Oh man, I know personally for me, and I think it's a pretty popular opinion among the other guys in the band. We love playing in Columbus. Craig and I are both from there originally, so we got a lot of friends that always show up there. And the bar that we play at is called Mesex. It's been there forever, like over 100 years. And the group there, they just generally, if you walk in there, they're listening to a lot of the stuff we play. So they always have a ton of energy. And we just love seeing like the familiar faces. They always have a great turnout, and we have a great time playing there.
It's a small dive bar, but like it gets packed in pretty much every time we play there. So I mean, there's mosh pits going on. We're having a great time every time we go to Columbus.
Favorite kind of bar though is a dive bars. You always hear of these really famous people, and they'll go off and kind of secretly go play somewhere. And it's always some dive bar because it's so intimate and close. And I've seen a few people like that, like, oh my God, did you know so-and-so's here? And they would just go play a few things. And we interview quite a few people that have, they get to play in those bands because they're like, I don't know, like they know the guy or whatever. And they're like, yeah, Iggy Pop's going to be at Kelly's Pub, and we need a drummer. And that'd be cool. I do the cowbell.
Well, have you guys played at the Dingling Bar in Raymond? That was my favorite of all the towns we played, and everywhere we went, it was always the Dingling Bar was the place for us. Nothing for you guys?
No, this is the first time hearing about the Dingling Bar. For a bunch of dinglings, it's probably the perfect place to go.
Well, it sounds like a male review place, like hunks dancing around and everything, but it's definitely not that. But no, it's just this little, I mean, the town has like 80 people or something actually there in Raymond. But man, they have like buses come in and out. And when the party bus hits, that's when you have to, it doesn't matter if you're over there, showering your gullet with gin, you got to run up there and start playing because that's your opportunity to really get people. But
is that where you had your Barbies?
Yes, we had our famous Barbie shows there where we would get a bunch of Barbies from the Goodwill. We'd strip them naked, we'd hang them all over the place, and I don't know, people went nuts over it. I don't know why we did that.
I guess it's better than granny panties.
We had plenty of those. Yeah, they threw those at us, like size 4X granny panties, with a stain in them.
Yeah, use them as your cape. Heck yeah. I always brought the panties to the show. It's all sizes. We do not discriminate against any panty size.
No, panties and bras are always welcome. I can't speak for you guys and Pop Shove It, but for me, if you want to throw them and you feel inclined to do so, we'll definitely try to catch them with our mouth or something.
Donnie's the lead guitar player. Have you ran into that yet, Donnie? Have you had stuff thrown at you on stage a lot?
No, I have not. It's mostly a bunch of sweaty guys coming up asking about my pedal board. What do you got on there?
You definitely don't want their panties.
Yes.
Well, this is going off the rails quick.
It is, but you know what? Just be prepared. You'll probably have a few of those. Just know, because I'm probably going to go to your show in Omaha on the 26th, which we'll talk about that later.
So let's dive into the music a little bit. I want to ask Donny first, because I'm a guitar player, but you made that transition to lead guitar player. Was it a hard transition for you? Why did you choose lead guitar? Was it because you saw Slash doing his thing back in the day and you go, I definitely want chicks too, so I'm going to be a lead guitar player? Tell us why you did it.
Yeah, essentially that was the goal right there. It's just like women love guitar players, and then you become a guitar player and you kind of quickly realize that's not all that accurate. But yeah, actually that's kind of funny, because Guns N' Roses was like the favorite for quite a few years there, definitely throughout high school. So like Slash was the big influence. Initially, I would say I was more of a blues guitar player. So it's been in the last few years an interesting transition. Now I'm trying to just do more shreddy stuff, which doesn't always fit, but I'm always trying to sneak it in there. Play Floyd, so we're always throwing some dive bombs in there, a bunch of squealies that have no purpose being in a pop punk song.
I just don't understand how you guys attack the guitar. Like I attack it as a rhythm guitar player who plays lead, right? So I just try to fit in like some extra melody here or there, but I am always like in awe of, I'm the sweaty, nerdy, chubby guy up there looking at you. Like it's never a hot chick. It's always guys like me, like sweating on top of your pedals, asking you like, well, man, well, what's your setup on, on this and that? And why do you run your tube screamer through this? So I can only imagine, man. But I like, how do you attack the guitar? Like, how did you decide? Is it just like practicing a bunch of scales? Let's talk to the young listeners right now, the guys who are wanting to be musicians. And like, how did you make that transition from, playing guitar like everybody else to becoming like a rock god?
That's generous, but I mean, it is spending a lot of time kind of practicing. I've kind of found what helps me is learning other people's music, because you start like playing certain songs and you go, oh, well, that actually song A has a similar section to song B here. So if you're like playing song B, you could steal from song A a little bit. So you start seeing like kind of the patterns, and you start kind of hearing like similarities and things, and you are able to take that, add it to your musical vocabulary, and then push forward, use that places.
And how about you, Ian? You play guitar and you sing. So it's kind of a different attack for you. But I mean, how long have you been singing and playing guitar together?
Actually, I just started singing and playing guitar together when Pop Shove had started. We just kind of we wanted to get the vocals a little bit deeper for some extra harmonies, because we had Craig and Jordan doing most of the vocals, but with Jordan being on drums, like that's a whole nother challenge to sing and drum at the same time. So I was kind of there to help with parts more that he wasn't able to kind of do comfortably while drumming. And then I just kind of let it grow from there, like adding in, some 3-part harmonies here and there. I mean, it was definitely a challenge just because sometimes walking and chewing gum at the same time is a little tough, but, you just practice a little bit and you'll learn. So
I think that's the hardest thing to do, is probably play drums and sing, though. I mean, we just interviewed a female drummer, and she sings as well. And that's almost kind of unheard of, because it is really hard to do. And yeah, I couldn't do it. My dad always says the drummer, oh, he's the most talented because you use all your body parts. And I'm like, but then try singing on top of it. That's really hard. So it's good. You got to have a couple of people in there. I got to ask you a question, though. Pop Shove It. Where did that come from? The name? Because I have so many things that go through my head thinking of that name.
That's fair. Donnie, you want to take that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's a skateboard trick. I mean, you'd probably be a little more knowledgeable on the intricacies of it. I'm not a skater. I don't actually know.
So it's like you jump in the air and the board rotates like 180 degrees beneath. It's more, we were trying to align with the theme of like when we were learning all the Tony Hawk songs, we were like, okay, this kind of fits that theme. So we had like 2 or 3 names, and that one just, I think, stuck for all of us.
Yeah, we had another one, Kickflip Hero, which was kind of going off the Guitar Hero thing a little bit. And I remember talking to a drummer, I want to say it was Sinners and Saints. So I was talking to their drummer, and I told him the names we were kind of torn between. And I go, yeah, Pop Shove It or Kickflip Hero. And he just Pop Shove It. He's like, that's not even a question. Are you serious right now? Like, I don't know. We talked to a few people, and they're like, Kickflip Hero kind of sucks, dudes.
I think it's a fantastic. I think Kickflip Hero has a certain charm to it, but I think Pop Shove It, especially now that you say that, I mean, I played enough Tony Hawk too. I've seen Pop Shove It come across the screen quite a few times, so that makes so much sense, man. But all right, this is a great stopping point here, a great time to remind everybody about our sponsors. We'll roll that Elegant Sasquatch ad, and then when we get back after that, we will run the local roundup. We'll give you a ton of things to do this hot weekend. Go see live music and go enjoy music. This is the best time. And after that, we'll talk about our sponsors, the people, places, things that keep this show going strong.
Dude, last night was a rager. I literally don't remember anything. What happened, and why do our beards smell so bad?
It all started when a Sasquatch came out of the woods. He was doing keg stands. He DJ'd the party for a while. He even brought a live skunk to hang out. It was epic. It was getting late when Sasquatch's skunk friend decided to spray his pungent odor everywhere. Now our beards smell like rotten eggs and trash. Don't worry, friend.
Ah! Is that you, Sasquatch?
It's me, your boy Squatch. Have no fear, my nose-melting follicle friends. I have just what you're looking for to get the skunk stench out of those skunktified beards. The Elegant Sasquatch Beard Company has all sorts of balms, butters, oils, and washes to turn you from skunk to hunk in no time. Oh, bro, this is a trip. I feel like I'm dreaming, man. I'm gonna go back to bed. Well, pinch yourself now because you're not dreaming, my friend. I'm here to tell you about all the great things going on at the Elegant Sasquatch Beard Company.
Oh, tell me you have something to help us with these smelly beards.
Not only do I have something for that, but I have so much more. Head on over to elegantsasquatchco.etsy.com to check out the shop and look at all the different beard balms, butters, oils, face washes, and bundles that we have to offer. In addition to all of our great prices, if you mention the Scratch the Vinyl podcast with Scratch30 at checkout, you'll get an additional 30% off of your order. Oh man, this beard wash is amazing, and these oils smell so good I could drink it. Oh, you foolish little human. That's not what they're talking about with hair of the dog.
But seriously, Squatch, these scents are amazing. I already smell better.
Well, on that note, it's time to grab another beer and, oh, it looks like our friend the skunk just arrived. It's time to party. I call dibs on the first game of beer pong.
All right, Lincolnites and everyone in the surrounding areas and all over the world, here's what's going on here in this fine town we call Lincoln this weekend. So let's start at Gray's Keg Friday night at 9 p.m. We'll have Everyone's Friend with Lazarus Go Home. Then Saturday night at Gray's Keg, they've got, starting at 8 p.m., it looks like a no-cover show. And it is a CD release party for the Nebraska Junior Blues Band. So go check that out. If you get hungry, obviously bounce back and forth, go over to the TAM and get yourself a nice burger or all sorts of specials that they have. So go there, then go back over to Gray's and rock out. 1867 has a boatload going on, it looks like. So let's get into it. Friday night, doors at 6, show at 7, all ages show. Looks like $22 day of the show. I'm going to try to get all these bands right. It looks like Ex Hoarder is going to be playing there. Our buddy Jesse Dean and his band Narcotic Self will be there. Finally, they're here in Lincoln. Let's see. Amyliter, Man, and Ungoliant Man, I tried on those ones. So that's about the best I can do. Look it up if I butchered it, and go to the 1867 and go get your faces blown off with some awesome metal. Tell Jesse Dean and the boys from Narcotic Self we said hi. Duffy's Saturday night at 8 p.m. They've got Ducky from Colorado, and then some local heroes coming in. They're playing, but they've got Goose Hen and Happy John are the local bands that are supporting them. So I think the Zoo Bar's got an action-packed weekend as well. So let's talk about, first off, Friday night, that FAC. They've got Harvey Brindell, Wags Wagner Band. At 9 p.m., they've got Paper Canaries. Then Saturday night at 5 p.m., they've got the Scallywags. At 9 p.m., Life in Prism. And then Sunday, they've got I think I've got another comedy show happening. 8:30 p.m., they've got Megan Welch with the Zoot Nanny. So go check that out. Let's cover another bar that we haven't really talked about yet. The Big Ten Bar downtown. We haven't really looked into that, but we are going to start because they're having a lot of good bands there. So Friday night, they've got Cover Me Bad. And then Saturday night, they've got Ecstatic. So those are some great bands. There's a ton of other things going on, but that's all I have time for this time. So now let's talk about our sponsors. We have Roots Music Shop. All you cool kids out there that want to play guitar, you want to get an instrument, go to Roots Music Shop. He also has some records there. But speaking of records, run on over to Backtrack Records and get those records now before I buy all of them. And I promise you, challenge has been accepted. I will try my best. If I hit it big, I'll just buy the whole thing. So we have American Senior Benefits. Call and ask for Jason Dugash. He is the man with the plan, and he will get you with those benefits. So call American Senior Benefits. Get a hold of Jason Dugash. We have Lil Bill's Barbecue. Everyone's barbecuing right now. So get on over to their Facebook page and order all those great tastes. And then, well, last but not least, we have Sly Ink Tattoo. You're still holding on to any of that tax money, get on over to Bryce and get those sweet, sweet tattoos. Now let's get back to it. This great interview with our guests from the band Pop Shove It. So let's talk about some of these places that you guys are, you were at Madsen's, you guys play in Columbus some, you guys play in Omaha. Let's talk about some of these other venues, and then towards the end of the show, maybe we'll we'll kind of remind people of where you guys are going to be.
Sure. Yeah, we've obviously, like you touched on Columbus and Omaha. We've also played the casino in Council Bluffs, the Horseshoe Whiskey Roadhouse. That was a fun weekend. Definitely a different experience from what we're used to, because like you go from more of these dive bars, and that's a bit of a larger and kind of more fancy setup than we kind of see generally. We also played the Plottage in Grand Island along with Humboldt Squid. That was a really fun show. I'm trying to think. Donnie, do you remember any others off the top of your head that we've done recently?
You know, we spent some time playing at 1867. We haven't been there in a little bit in Lincoln. We do some private events from time to time. Like we played a wedding, which was a great time, also in Columbus. We've done like a couple street dance type beer garden events. So yeah, we kind of play around wherever people have us.
Do you guys ever like think that you're like I don't know, yelling like play Wipeout or play this or play that? Do you get that a lot, or you're just like, nah, that's not how it works? And if you did, have you ever done it for somebody?
I've had several people come up and request songs, and it's way out of my wheelhouse because I don't know the genre of music that well.
Well, we try to tell people it's like you asking me to go do something I've never done before, even though, I know how to clean, but I don't know how to clean an engine. Like you can't just ask people to do that. I always tell people like, stop yelling, play Wipeout or play this or play that. But sometimes you might get, somebody to do it for you. I don't know.
And sometimes we get the occasional play Freebird.
Yeah.
Like everyone thinks that every musician knows every song, as if there aren't a billion songs out there. So it's absolutely nutty to think that you guys are going to play like intricate Merle Haggard covers.
But you know what? I guarantee you'd be able to do it if you were like, "Oh, we got to do this," and just because you guys are seasoned musicians, you'd be able to do it easily.
I thought the yelling for Freebird was over. I thought that generation had moved on.
No, we're not done yet.
That probably happens like every 2 or 3 shows. I think it's pretty common.
Well, I'm significantly older than you guys, and I remember back when we used to have to do all city choir down at Pershing Auditorium in Lincoln, and I swear to God, everybody would yell "Freebird, Freebird!" Like, this is probably 1980 something, and it's like I hear it all the time when we at shows, or I used to hear it all the time at shows. So I guess I'm glad to see that some things never die, I guess.
Well, if Tony Hawk showed up and he yelled "Freebird," you'd be playing Freebird, and that would be a new skater move or whatever. It's called the Freebird, and he has a musical. I'm pretty sure Tony Hawk has a musical out, and I would love to be in that. See, being a Star Strutter, I could be in Tony Hawk's musical and playing Freebird and all the other things. 360s, pop, shove it, whatever.
Man, I had no idea about that musical. I'm gonna have to check that out.
I think it was I think it was like 2001 or something. Yeah, and he produced it, and it was like he did the, I don't know, he did a lot in it. He's out there with his skateboard. That's what we didn't have in high school: skateboards on the Strutter team. You know what? We could do it again. We're going to be in a music video at Madsen's with one of our band friends. So why not take a skateboard down the lane?
That was Hamilton, and you were on LSD. That was Hamilton.
Yeah, or it was Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Anyways, we should do a music video sometime for you guys, and we can do all kinds of fun stuff. I bet we could AI Tony with us.
Well, we're definitely putting ourselves in the hat for that. If any of you bands that are listening, including you guys on the show right now, if you guys want to do a music video, you guys have to have a super cool podcast, doing a live, in the video. Like, I mean, who doesn't want podcasters in the video? We're going to put our names in the hat, and we want to be in your music videos because why not, right? So I got to ask you guys, last week we had a guest on, and we kind of did a fun little game where it was kind of a, what are you listening to now, or what are you obsessing about now? So I want to bring it back up again, because I'm going to be honest with you. Here's the second week in a row I obsessed over the same band, and they're kind of pop punky in a way. They're called Slow Joy, and I'm going to continue to campaign for this until I get Slow Joy on the show. So I think I listened to them last night at the gym on repeat. I listened to their one song "Wound" at least 10 or 12 times while I was trying to pump my arms and everything. So I'm going to ask you first, Ian, what's the earworm that's really been getting you? What have you been obsessing about in music lately?
Oh man, lately it's been a lot of Hot Mulligan and Free Throw, two like great and kind of newer generation, more like on the Midwest emo stuff. I've just been on a bit of a kick of bands like that, and they're just absolutely killing it right now. I know Hot Mulligan just put out a new single that I'm listening to like daily, it seems like. So yeah, I think those two are my main ones at the moment.
Nice. And how about you, Donnie? What's the earworm that's been really eating at you lately?
A lot of Knocked Loose, some Speed, and Wolfgang Van Halen stuff. The Mammoth stuff, that stuff's really killer right now, I think.
It is. Wolfie is killing it, man. It's great to have a Van Halen still on top of the game like that, man. It really is.
Well, and I just love it. I mean, like, he's doing his own thing, but like can still shred just like his dad, like crazy.
Yeah, he's incredible. Randy, give us the word on the street. What have you been listening to? What are the hot songs out there in karaoke land?
Okay, I will tell you what happened this week that was kind of unique. And you know how I like to throw in kamikazes on people? And so Wednesday night, we kind of had this thing get going where somebody yelled out, "We should do yacht rock." And I'm like, oh God, I was on Memorial Weekend. For some reason, we had one of the radio stations turn to this like nonstop yacht rock. And it's like all these old 70s songs, just chilling. And so everybody started kamikazing someone else to do a yacht rock song. And I tell you what, I can't believe how many great older songs that you probably hardly ever hear anymore. These guys were getting up and singing them, and it was a great time. So shout out to my Wednesday night crew down at Kelly's that came out and we did about 2 hours worth of yacht rock songs, and I kind of enjoyed it, to be honest with you.
You do a lot of kamikaze stuff. You're just like, but you're really good at picking the people that can sing the song that they're like, no, I can't do this.
Oh.
And you're like, I got you. You can do this.
I had a couple people that I thought there was no way they would know these songs, right? And they just got up and killed it. And I'm going to give a big shout out to my boy Jason, who did "Rich Girl" by Hall & Oates. He had he kind of knew the song, but he wasn't sure. But he just went for it, got into it. I loved it.
You should be a talent manager. You're good at that. You can find them. You made me sing song. Well, I'm not in tune or anything, but you've got me up there to sing some pretty crazy stuff.
Well, I'd never really heard this yacht rock thing until, like I said, till Memorial Weekend. All of a sudden, it was like a whole thing on one of the radio stations, maybe the Boomer station or whatever. But of course, there's all these great songs from the 70s that, of course, I knew them and heard them, but I just don't think I see a lot of people at my shows sing those songs. And literally for 2 hours, everybody was just going nuts over doing this. So I don't know. It was a good time. So that was kind of my thing this week, Kane.
Well, there's a movie on Netflix with Chris Hemsworth out not too long ago called Spearhead. And like all of the music in the soundtrack is yacht rock. And it was a killer soundtrack. So I'll bet all these kids just got loaded up watching that. And they're like, you know what? Yacht rock actually does rock. Because I mean, honestly, Hall & Oates, they're still the kings of everything in my eyes, but they're the kings of yacht rock for sure.
I want to touch on with both Ian and Donny. Kind of, we always talk about this a little bit, kind of when we look back at our history of how music influenced us. You know, the whole concept of the show for us was me and Kane's love for vinyl music. Do you guys have much of a vinyl collection, or what kind of genre were you guys dealing with growing up, and what did you guys like?
I actually have a huge vinyl collection, more vinyl than I know what to do with. It just started out as my dad's old collection, so there's a lot of, there's AC/DC, Aerosmith, the Beatles, Rolling Stones, and the whole plethora of classic rock bands.
So we have a similar collection.
Yep. In the last few years, I've kind of started kind of modernizing it a little bit. So I've started picking up like some of the new bands pressings of stuff, and yeah, I don't know, it's kind of spiraling out of control at this point.
Yeah, because like I'm the same way. I love vinyl. There's something just about that fullness and the scratchiness and so we have loved that we have a lot of these bands that are now pressing some new vinyl. And Kane is also just a junkie too. He goes to literally every record and tape store in town, and we shout them out all the time because he's become the most regular customer they have. And he doesn't care what it is. If he sees something he doesn't have, he'll get it, put it on, and then he'll send it over to me and say, have you heard this before? And I'm like, yeah, but I haven't heard that for like 30 years or something. But there is something about getting, just listening to vinyl over everything else. Everything just seems too digital these days and too like AI perfect. There's just something about old school that still touches it for me.
I agree with you, Randy. And the thing is that I just bought a new record player, but I need one that you can press a button and it just keeps replaying it because I have to walk over there. I got mashed potatoes on my hands or cheese because I'm cooking and I can't change the vinyl. I don't want to scratch it too much. I just want to keep it playing over and over because my kids already know I listen to the same shit over and over again and until I know every lyric. But I need to get something that'll just keep playing it for me.
I gotta admit, the other day it was a dumpster, okay? And I don't like to admit being a dumpster diver, but I do tend to like drive around and like look and just see. And somebody had a little crate, and of course I snatched it up immediately of vinyl. And I would say like maybe 60% of it was trash. Like, oh, I'll have to make bowls out of it or something. But there was that other 40% of obvious things that grandma didn't want that I
Kane, you were
snagged.
really good at that. You were so good at that. We watched a DVD and I didn't have a DVD player. And he goes, "Oh, yeah, my neighbor has thrown this out and I found it." And I'm like, hell yes. Now I can go watch all my DVDs.
I just
You're
outed
good at that.
myself, much to my wife's dismay. Oh yeah, somebody gave it to me. I tell her, but then, but it's always a dumpster dive. How sad.
Ian, how about you? Do you have any love for vinyl, or what are you into?
Yeah, I do have a small vinyl collection. I wouldn't say it's anywhere near what Donnie's accumulated, but I definitely got into it later in the game. So my parents had a bunch growing up, so they had like some Journey records and stuff like that. But I have like more newer pressings. So like probably late high school, I was getting some pressings from like A Day to Remember or Real Friends, or the Wonder Years are like the main three that I know I've got just sitting on a shelf right now. And I have a few others, odds and ends, but yeah, I agree. I love the sound, like the fullness, like you guys were talking about. There's definitely just a charm to it compared to a lot of the more digital stuff that we kind of get nowadays.
You talk about the fullness on that. There's really nothing better than it. I know CDs are making a massive comeback, and even cassettes are making a big comeback. I've noticed like when I go to the different stores like Backtrack and First Day Vinyl and all these places that they have a pretty big like cassette collection that you can buy. Do you guys have any cassettes?
I don't have any cassettes. I kind of wish I did. I do have some from like when my parents had a bunch. I kind of wish we had more. It's a little definitely easier to access nowadays with like Spotify and all that, so it's not as necessary as it was back then.
Yeah, for sure. It's I don't know. It for me, it is about having the physical copy. I am one of those nerds when it comes to music. I mean, Randy and Brooke and we talk about that all the time. It's the smell of it, right? I mean, it's sometimes when I fish it out of the dumpster, the smell is not what I'm looking for. It might be mom's tuna, but I will say that I just love pulling out that and looking at the lyrics that they have them or seeing that ridiculous picture that they put in as kind of I mean, do you guys, I know that it's a digital world right now, and there is something to be said about digital. Do you tend to do what I do with digital, which is discover bands? I think that is the best part. I'll ask you, Donnie. For me, that's the best part of the digital time is that I discover way more bands way quicker than ever before.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think the thing that I can appreciate about like a Spotify or something like that is like, you can find so much. Like everybody's posting their stuff to Spotify these days. The problem I run into is I spend most of my time listening to playlists. And that's the thing about records that I absolutely love is it gives me a better appreciation of the record itself, like the album that the artist created. You're getting everything just how they intended it. Whereas Spotify, it's like I'll listen to essentially just a greatest hits playlist.
Yeah, we always talk about that. There's always something about finding hidden gems in albums. Something that probably honestly meant something to an artist, mainstream didn't think was worth anything, but you really will, when you find that one song, like we talk about it all the time, that there's always just certain songs that nobody else finds, and then you find it, and then you ask, "Hey, did you guys ever hear that?" Like, "Oh, we didn't even know that was on the album." And you're like, "That's crazy," but that's what we love. That's what I love about it for sure. How about you, Ian? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty, like more of what I had was CDs growing up just because it was the ease of access. But I loved like finding those tracks that weren't like the big singles that just really resonated with me. Gosh, I know there was plenty, like when I was first getting into like buying CDs and getting a bunch of them, I was like, getting some Fall Out Boy CDs or Green Day, stuff like that. And I figured out like a lot of my favorite songs from those bands weren't like the hits that we were hearing on the radio. It was like those deep tracks. So big fan of those. And I'm so guilty nowadays of sometimes not looking that deep into an artist, and it's like a conscious thing that I'm starting to make, because it's so easy with like playlists and stuff like that just to have the big stuff right in front of you, and you kind of can stick to that if you're not careful.
My child, I have 3 boys, and my middle one, he's 20, and we moved recently, and I had this a lot of boxes of vinyls, CDs, all kinds of stuff. And he said, Mom, this is some of the coolest shit I've ever seen. He's like, you actually get to touch it. You can read. And like, he pulls it out and he's like, reads the lyrics, saw stories. You even get stickers sometimes, or like, he goes, this is just different and it's wonderful. And it needs to come back. And we need to go back to those roots. And I mean, because everybody's making those, vinyls now. I mean, they're kind of expensive, but they're coming back. And even hearing from younger kids, they want it. They want to see it because it is so cool. Like I used to take my CD, the inside, and I would take them out and I would frame them. I mean, they were really cool stuff. And the only thing is most of the stuff that I have, my kids are like, oh shit, like this is some old stuff. And I go, yeah, it's weird when you're listening to music and Foo Fighters comes on and it's on classic rock. I go, that's a little different, but you know what? Let's listen to this stuff. And I try to keep my kids very, open with music, and they absolutely love it. And I think it'd be pretty badass if you guys had something that would come out sometime soon. Like do your own shit and get a vinyl out, and you could scratch it with the skateboard, do your pop shove it. It'd be so cool. And we could have a music video with it. Like I'm seriously looking forward to that.
Well, let's touch on that a little bit. Do either of you guys, have you got into writing much? And do you guys do a little of your own music? Have you guys got into that?
So I have a few things like I'm writing, kicking around, but no like set in stone project yet. But I do play in a couple other bands. Actually, we just had a show last night in a band I just joined a little while back called Lightspeed Highway. We opened for a band from the Czech Republic called Krang at the Sydney. Super fun show. The other locals on it was great. Heat Waves and the Shitiots, both pretty prominent around here. Seen a lot of shows with them. So that was super fun. That was only my 3rd show with Lightspeed Highway. And then other than that is pretty much just Pop Shove It and Lightspeed Highway and the occasional Odd Man Out gig, which is pretty rare nowadays. But that's my 3 main things going on.
Are those like the same kind of genre bands? I mean, are they different? Can we go and see something, similar, or like explain a little bit more about your bands that you're in and what kind of music it is?
Sure. So Odd Man Out was the band that I met most of the Pop Shove It guys besides Donny and during college, and that was all originals. We might do a cover here or there, but it was pretty much like Newfound Glory is essentially what we were going for with that. A lot of fun, just fast paced, like heavier side of pop punk stuff. Lightspeed Highway is a little different. Jake Rolfe, and he writes most of the songs for that, and that's a little bit. It does lean towards pop punk, but it's almost like if Tom Petty was a pop punk artist. So he definitely has some classic influences in there. He's also a big Beatles fan, so that one definitely challenges me in some different ways. I play bass in that band, so it's a little different than just my regular guitar work. But yeah, it's been a really fun time so far, and definitely I think's helped me grow a little bit more as a musician, playing a little bit different style than I'm used to. So
Donny, how about you? Do you get into any writing, or do you like creating your own? What's your process?
I just have a folder on my computer full of unfinished riffs that'll probably never see the light of day.
Well, don't ever say never, because we've had many people we've talked to, is that that's the best thing to do, is to put it in a note, put it somewhere, and someday all of a sudden you just might have that epiphany, and you'll wake up and you'll just go, hey, and you'll finish it, and you'll probably call Ian and go, hey, I got a new song for the band.
Get over here, stat.
Stat.
You're not sleeping tonight. We're writing an album.
Well, first I want to say we always appreciate that, because I think a lot of people that do listen to our show, they always kind of want to know kind of how other people are doing it. And obviously you guys have that kind of wide range of being in other bands, doing some different stuff, and kind of having plenty of different influences. And, you know, we appreciate you guys coming on and sharing that with all of us. And so before we got to get out of here, let's talk about where you're going to be, and where our fans can come and follow you and get a chance to maybe see you guys.
Yeah. Our next show is in Omaha on June 26th at Dr. Jack's Drinkery. It's about 102nd and Maple in Omaha. After that, August 1st, we'll be at Me-Sex in Columbus, and September 12th through the 13th, we'll be at the Grand Island Casino Resort.
Awesome. How about your social stuff? Where can they find you guys online and maybe check out any of the stuff you have put out already?
Yeah. You can catch pretty much everything we're doing on either Facebook or Instagram. Just pop shove it with a dash between the shove it.
I feel like you guys are going to be in the next Quentin Tarantino movie. He chooses how he play. Yeah, the way his movies are is his first. It's kind of like his the surfer punk grunge. It's gonna kind of morph into something else. I think you guys should probably get a hold of him, or I could do that for you, right, Kane?
Oh yeah, I've got him on speed dial. Let me just dial him up right now. Maybe I'll get John Travolta to chime in too or something.
Well, we do know that if you can manifest it, Brooke will make it happen. It's what happens. That's the magic of Scratch the Vinyl, to be honest with you.
He's not kidding. If you want Quentin, I'll try my darndest to get him.
I've always wanted to get killed in a Quentin Tarantino film. So, I mean, if y'all can make that happen, let's.
You know what? 100%. And he loves feet.
I got those. We're good.
Boy, I have the most beautiful feet in the world. Thanks, Grandma. We have a little thing called meat feet. And you know what? I could kill you with my feet.
That's Brooke's OnlyFans page is Brooke's feet.
Actually, I'm asking you to be on my other OnlyFans. Could you guys want to come and get murdered by my feet, and maybe Quentin will see it, and then we could do a little, I don't know, pop and shove it.
Foot choking is huge right now in the porn communities, Brooke. So yeah, just a good foot choke is always pretty good.
I'm so blessed.
Well, as always, good things have to come to an end. But guys, we really appreciate you taking the time out today and hanging out with us here on Scratch the Vinyl. We wish you the best. And if there's anything we can do, let us know. Go to our fan page. You can post whatever you want, what's coming up. Let our fans come in and get a little taste of Pop Shove It like I did. And I wish you guys the best.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having us. No, this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you guys. It's been a great time.
Well, you heard it here, everybody. Lincolnites and millions of listeners all around the world. We gave you yet another example of why we have the coolest musicians and the best people here in our great state of Nebraska. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Tune in next week. We will catch you on the flip side here on
Scratch the Vinyl.
Yeah.